There was an app that was released for a very short span of time. एकदम छोटो समयको लागि यो app आएको थियो हैन. यो app चाहिँ एउटा game थियो के.
Okay.
The duck was flying.
Okay.
There was a duck that was flying, and I forgot the name of. Do you remember the game? X.
Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird. The app was called Flappy Bird.
Okay.
The app crushed the world. Okay, everybody in the entire planet wanted this app called Flappy Bird. It got to a point where the person who created this app, कहाँबाट created थियो?
Flappy Bird कि Angry Bird?
Flappy Bird. यो चाहिँ.
ए okay.
Flappy Bird. हैन Vietnamese video game artist र programmer ले बनाएको थियो Vietnamमा हैन.
Oh, मैले
डिलिट गर्नु पर्यो त्यस्तै के
हो Flappy Bird हैन. यति यसको डाउनलोड भयो यति त्यो उ भयो कि हैन. He deleted it. He removed it. He was like, okay, I'm no longer going to give it to the world. म संसारलाई दिन्न यो.
किन चाहिँ probably he thought it was harming a lot of people because
people were just playing
and wasting their time.
Flappy Bird. People were just playing around with Flappy Bird. And you were just done with it. Right?
Yeah.
A person sitting in Vietnam created this and then it went around the world. A person sitting in Nepal, any part of our country, anywhere, news, northeast, west, south, a Flappy Bird removed from both apps, 2014 मा थियो हैन, that he felt guilty over what he considered to be the game's addictive nature and overusage.
Interesting.
हैन? There are two parts of this story. One part is anybody sitting in our country can create a world-changing application or world-changing, I don't even know the word for it now, but I'm sure there are new words that we're going to be coming to. Is that possible on today's date?
Yeah, it is. It is. And I'm sure we will see a couple coming in next few years and a decade.
What would you want to go ahead and say to that person who is thinking of an idea?
Build it. Like a lot of times, I think, especially for entrepreneurs, those who haven't taken the jump, they will think about it. They will think about it. They will think about it. Right? It, like as you said, like there is that jump. कतिलाई त्यो jump लिन गाह्रो छ. For whatever the reasons, and everybody has come to their own decision-making point where they make that jump. And if you're thinking about building a world-changing product, just go and do it. Like start building it, right? Like it may not turn out to be the same way you thought. Maybe it doesn't become world-changing. Maybe it becomes Nepal-changing. That is still a success, right? But in a similar course, you will end up inspiring somebody else who might end up building Asia changing, and somebody else who gets inspired to build world changing. But that process needs to happen, right? And I think it will happen. And there are more and more companies here who are building products and who are building very, very good products. It hasn't been like world changing commercial success. Some of that requires funding and the level of funding that requires it to be world success. कतिचोटि product नै world quality भए पनि it doesn't become world success because it doesn't get that kind of support it needs. But I think it is possible to build a world-changing product right here from Nepal.
The second side of this story of Flappy Bird, यो दोस्रो side चाहिँ, with all the new world-changing technology that we are creating, is there a stop button for something like this? Should we have a stop button for something like this? Pause maybe?
Maybe pause button. Right? Maybe pause button. I think even some of the companies that are bringing these large language models and generative AI systems are thinking how much harm it can do. And that's why some of the access is limited, some of the features are limited, right? So, yeah, I think those who are building it, they are in the power of thinking about if I want to pause it or if I want to stop it, right? Like the Flappy Bird example.
Yeah.
The Flappy Bird founder and the founding team and the engineering team probably decided, okay, I want to pause it because I believe it's not bringing good value to the world, right? And then they paused it and they stopped it. So a lot of times, I think the entrepreneurs who are building things like that, they probably have a capacity or features built into the system that allows them to either pause it or stop it if they see it can create harm. And I think the ones who are building it, they should think, especially the ones who are building AI systems, they should think beforehand, especially if they're not too sure which direction it will take, which evolution the system might take for good versus harm it can create. They should pre-program it and think about a feature to add on from early on so that they and the overall general population, if they want to pause it, they should be able to pause it or unplug it.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जोय गर्नुभयो होला अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ युट्युबमा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.